Today, we're making Mediterranean street food at home. And to do so, we're going to hit 3 big factors. We want this affordable, easy to eat, handheld, and ready within 30 minutes. I mean, it's gonna be tasty too. I feel like saying that one is kind of like that's a given. Like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing? We're taking inspiration from lahmacun, traditionally a Turkish spiced meat flatbread, but we're putting the nard dog spin on it. We're not gonna do any of that in the video. That's just not happening. Okay, here's what we're gonna need. You can split this recipe completely in half, but I have a family of 4, so I made this in a way that I feed everyone. So, 2 blocks of super firm tofu, tomato paste, lemon juice, soy sauce, garlic, fresh parsley, minced onion, plant yogurt, pita bread, and seasonings. We're going to begin with our prep, starting off with our garlic. We're going to mince about 7 to 8 cloves. In Mediterranean cooking, garlic is a primary seasoning, not just an afterthought. So to my Mediterranean folks, I mean, like, we basically family. Next, bring in your onion. I suggest using a small onion if you have one, but we'll be using about half of this medium onion today. That a fine dice and set it aside. After dicing the onion, we're going to dice some fresh parsley. You'll want this fairly fine because it's going to be mixed into our tofu meat mixture. Then we're going to bring in our lemon and just set it aside for now, since we'll be needing it a bit later. Next, we're going to prep our toppings, beginning with our red onion. Give that a dice. We're using red onions here because they're much milder in flavor than other onions when you eat them raw. So it gives you that crunch without that sharp bite later that lingers like all day. After that, we're going to slice some mini cucumbers. I like the mini ones because they have fewer seeds and they stay crunchy inside the pita, or in this case, on top. Then we're going to be slicing our cherry tomatoes. I sliced these smaller than I normally would, but that's because I really wanted the flavor of that tomato acidity to make it into every bite of the pita. Next, we're moving on to our tofu, and we're going to shred this on the large holes of a box grater. I said this before and I'll say it again. Shredding is the key to a convincing ground meat texture. Okay, I've never said that before, but it sounds good, you know, said that way. So either way, it's true. Don't fight me on this. We're going to bring out a large bowl to prep our tofu. Shred your tofu into the bowl, being careful to not hurt yourself when getting closer to the end. Once you finish up, put that off to the side, and then next, we're going to work on our spice mixture. In a small bowl, add in your cumin, paprika, smoked paprika, dried oregano, cinnamon, allspice, black pepper, salt, and optional chili flakes if you want just a little bit of heat. You're going to mix that all together and then pull your bowl of tofu back to the main stage. To your bowl of tofu, add in your onions, parsley, and garlic, mixing it all together really well. Right behind that, we're going to add in our lemon juice and about half of our seasoning mixture. This way we can stir that in and ensure even coating before adding the rest. Once all of your spice blend has been added to the tofu, bring in your tomato paste. When making traditional recipes, often I will tangent in places to make something of my own, and that could be for various reasons. Like in this recipe, I'm using tomato paste instead of fresh tomatoes. If we decided to use fresh tomatoes in this recipe, they'd be roasting for, 30 minutes or maybe even more. And that high heat sugar breakdown can actually turn bitter in that dry roasted oven. In traditional lahmacun, all the ingredients are typically in a bowl mixed together, sort of like a meatball, before later spreading it out on a flatbread. Going with tomato paste here helps us achieve that similar unified approach and savory flavor. Spread the tofu onto a baking tray. The tray can be prepped with parchment, but I want my tofu to have direct contact with the steel to help crisp up the edges. And this is gonna go into the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. At least that's what was supposed to happen. We'll talk about that later. Now, while that's in the oven, we're going to make a quick yogurt sauce, aka tzatziki kind of thing. Using a plant-based Greek yogurt, I'm adding in some lemon juice and parsley. And of course, you could still do this with a basic plant-based yogurt, or maybe even some sour cream. So full transparency here. I was supposed to save some of my garlic to add into the sauce, but I used every single clove in the tofu. I had the chance to go get more. I didn't. So we have a very bright lemon forward sauce today. And honestly, it worked. And I happened to be talking too much and 100% forgot to grab this when the timer went off. So it's a bit well done, which was weird because it still worked really good. But what we were going for, that Mediterranean street food, those extra crunchy bits, this thing is actually a win. It was like adding the charred smoky texture you get from like a grill. All right, so let's do a quick hydration hack. Place your crispy tofu crumbles in a bowl, and then we're gonna toss them with a little hot water, olive oil, and an extra squeeze of lemon juice. I put it all together in a bowl and then poured it right in. This helps me feel like it's more evenly distributed. This hydration hack adds a little liquid back into the roasted tofu, making it like more juicy and succulent, just as if you had eaten ground meat in the past, kind of like that would be. So whether you roast the heck out of your tofu or not, this hack is great. All right, remember the promise I made you. Quick, affordable, and handheld. It's the perfect, easy to eat meal that brings that street food vibe right into your kitchen. Proof. You know, you don't need a plane ticket or a giant budget to eat incredibly well. Also, those pitas were made right here, so let me know if you want to learn how to do that. But this full recipe can be found linked in the description, or you can head right on over to my website, makeitdairyfree.com. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I realize prices are getting expensive out there. You know, things are going up. So really start paying attention to how every one of your dollars are being spent. It's good that we're all mindful at this current moment and making the choices that will keep us in good place. So whether you're part of my membership program or any others, and you need to evaluate how your dollars are being spent, I completely understand, and I'm sure those folks out there do too. I just know at the end of the day, I'll still be here for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much again. Till next time, believe in good. Peace.